Welcome to Urantia Book Unsealed. Today I will be discussing faith, what it means, the characteristics of its fruits, and how to stabilize a rock solid foundation for the purpose of learning how to grow through being shaped by faith experiences for true development, bona fide transformation, and mastery to take place from within. There's a beautiful method to all of this madness if you have the courage to sincerely press forward. So I bring you today's presentation, Faith, the rock solid foundation of spiritual insight, as described within the Urantia book. Most people think faith is something you either have or you don't, that it's inherited, taught, or simply believed. But what if faith is something you develop, something that's built through inner working, discipline, and trust, especially when it doesn't make sense? What if faith isn't about escaping reality? What if it's about learning how to walk through it with strength, clarity, and purpose? So, I would like to talk about faith not as an idea, but as a living practice that becomes a journey inward, that challenges the mind, humbles the ego, and reveals what's already been placed within you. Because real faith demands real work, real commitment, and real dedication. Faith is not passive, it's the development of spiritual character. It teaches you how to leave the tears behind and stand upright to face what's in you. And this is where many people get stuck. And not because they lack the potential, but because they have been long conditioned to look outside for answers. Belief may not always be able to resist doubt and withstand fear, but faith is always triumphant over doubting. Faith is always positive and living. The positive always has the advantage over the negative. Truth over error, experience over theory, spiritual realities over the isolated facts of time and space. The convincing evidence of this spiritual certainty consists in the social fruits of the Spirit which such faithers yield as a result of the genuine spiritual experience. For Jesus said, "If you love your fellows as I have loved you, then shall all men know you are my disciples." Faith causes morals and ethics to progress, despite inherent and adverse animalistic tendencies. Faith produces sublime trust in the goodness of God, even in the face of bitter disappointment and crushing defeat. Faith generates profound courage and confidence, despite natural adversity and physical calamity. Faith exhibits inexplicable poise and sustaining tranquility, notwithstanding baffling diseases and even acute physical suffering. There is always going to be a resistance you have to work against. This wakes up the developmental master sleeping within. Faith maintains a mysterious poise of composure, of personality in the face of maltreatment and the rankest injustice. Faith maintains a divine trust in ultimate victory, in spite of the cruelties of seemingly blind fate and the apparent utter indifferences of natural forces to human welfare. Faith persists in the unswerving belief in God, despite all contrary demonstration of logic, and successfully withstands all other intellectual sophistries. It continues to exhibit undaunted firmness in the soul's survival, regardless of the deceptive teaching of false science and the persuasive delusions of unsound philosophy. Faith lives and triumphs irrespective of the crushing overload of the perplexed and partial civilization of modern times. Faith contributes to the continued survival of altruism, in spite of human selfishness, social antagonism, industrial greed, and political maladjustments. Faith steadfastly adheres to the sublime belief in universe unity and divine guidance, regardless of the perplexing presence of evil and sin. Faith goes right on worshiping God, in spite of anything and everything, dares to claim, "Even though he slay me, yet will I serve him." But in the loss of self development, Humanity has slowly forgotten how to use the very tools that were rightfully given to us. Tools meant not just for survival, but for the next stage of life. There are gifts within us we haven't yet come to realize. There's life beyond anything we've imagined so far, and there's more help available to us than we can even acknowledge or even understand. And all of this begins with one simple yet deeply testing act: faith. Faith that there is more. Faith that you are supported. Faith that purpose, higher thinking, and higher ways of living are not reserved for a few, but available to all. And this is what the Father wants you to have: everything good that you can gain true capacity to righteously withstand. This is a real conversation for anyone trying to establish a rock solid foundation, for anyone asking, how do I begin? How do I go within? How do I trust something higher than me without losing myself? Because when we allow the door to open, even just a little, new and refreshing realizations begin to take place. And this is something that is possible for everyone. Material matters, success, comforts, or distractions should never pull anyone away from the honest effort of gaining deeper insight of who they are and what life is asking of you. Because it's asking something of each and every individual. Nobody has to walk around feeling depressed or down about their place or position in the Father or His kingdom. The Father has use for even the least of individuals, truly desiring to be like Him. Gifts, increase, wisdom, truth, beauty, goodness, riches are not exclusive in the Father or His kingdom. It's inclusive and its natural order. All His children live in highly materialized grandeur. That's why it's so important not to become seduced by the things of this world, thinking this is it and throwing everything spiritually away. Because I promise you, it's sugar-coated poop compared to what the Father has waiting on those who love Him. And here's my challenge to you. Not as a demand, but as an invitation. Look within yourself for the hidden gems of knowledge that are buried deep within you. And yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. It might even be painful. But the beauty is this: when you come out on the other side, you begin to see, acknowledge, and understand the greatness of what's inside of you, the capacity, the courage, and the capability that has been laying dormant, waiting to be found. Faith doesn't ask you to escape yourself. It asks you to finally meet yourself. Faith doesn't promise comfort. It promises transformation. And if you are willing to go within, to trust something higher without abandoning who you are, you'll discover what you have been searching for has been within you all along. The courage, the capacity, the wisdom, the strength. Faith isn't just about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you truly are. So this concludes my brief presentation on faith, the solid rock of spiritual insight. But lastly, before I go, I want to add a little piece of what Jesus said about faith. He said two things. Okay. First, we must have faith sincerity, meaning we come as little children to receive the bestowal of sonship as a gift, to submit to the doing of the Father's will without questioning and in full confidence and genuine trustfulness of the Father's wisdom, to come in the kingdom free from prejudice and preconception, to be open-minded and teachable like an unspoiled child. And secondly, having the hunger for truth, the thirst for righteousness, a change of mind, and the acquirement of the motive to be like God and to find Him. Although Jesus taught that faith, simple childlike belief, is the key to the door of the kingdom, He also taught that having entered that door, there are progressive steps of righteousness, which every believing child must ascend in order to grow up to the full stature of the robust sons of God. As I stated previously, this is not an easy task, but anytime anything is really worth having, it's never easy. It comes with challenges intended to provoke your mind to higher thinking, making you, decide, will you have faith and grow, or will you run from yourself in fear, continuing to be crushed under your own weight of discontent and unhappiness? And because pressure comes with mercy, you'd rather sit in your own self pity blaming God when God is not the problem. You're the problem. So work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, okay? The Father has already provided everything you need in order to make it to your next level in life. All right? Gotta have that courage to press through. It is not God's fault, and it does not make any sense to blame Him. It's not His fault. I absolutely promise you, it's not His fault. Okay, so please realize, all of the Father's jewels are real and expensive, and you are His jewel. Okay, He doesn't produce lab-grown diamonds. All right, they all come out of the rough. Okay. So if you managed to make it this far, thank you so much, and much gratitude. If you want to show support, you can do so by subscribing, liking, or maybe sharing with someone who wouldn't mind hearing this message. So once again, you're listening to Urantia Book Unsealed. My name is Risha, and always, forever stay amazing.